Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. What was that? Was that you guys notice how that happened when Jason from Ham Radio TV joined the chat? Oh boy. You know what? Like I've said before, if you've never experienced that while an issue like that while live streaming, then you haven't live streamed often enough. So, okay, let me mute that and get so Callum is okay, there he is. Bring him in real quick. I wanted to make an announcement first, so let me go ahead and do that real fast, and then I'll bring Callum in because we're behind schedule now. Not that I really have a time crunch or anything like that today, but let's see. Okay, so several of you have asked about the POTA trip I had planned this coming Friday, June 4th, where I was going to go out to a state park and set up my Hex beam, my Buddy Hex, my FTDX10, my 7300, and do Parks in the Air and invite everyone to come out. Still weather contingent. It's looking like a 40% chance of rain that day in the North Texas area. So I don't know. I'm going to play that one by ear. Right now, I'm thinking probably no, because it's been raining in Texas for like more than a week and a half. Like even the days when it's not really raining, everything's still soaking wet on the ground. So right now I'm thinking that we probably need to postpone that. But if something changes this week, I'll let you guys know. I just don't want to. I don't want to be sitting out there in puddles of water and getting all muddy, even if it's not raining. So that there is that. Also tonight, Ham Radio Clubhouse is going on. I had the privilege of being on with these guys 2 weeks ago. They do a weekly live stream, and they're doing a wrap up to the Hamfest last weekend. That's probably what was wrong with my computer. It just got live streamed out last weekend because I live streamed for like 8 hours, not all at once, but in total, 8 or 9 hours, something like that last weekend. So, but join them. Ham Radio Clubhouse is their channel on YouTube. I will share this link in the chat right now. That way we can, that way you can go, guys can go check that out as well. And here is that. And it looks like 72 of you have found me over here. So thank you for that. And now I got to get, make sure that this is right. Turn that off. Self view. And interview room and unmute all of the things. Hey, Callum, thanks for hanging in there with me, man.
Am I live?
Yeah, you're live now, man.
I was trying to keep the chat bubbling.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Shall we ask them back at home? Is my audio balanced to Jason's? I can adjust me. I can go up and down, whatever. I'm sure it sounds fine. I don't know.
On the levels here on my mixer, it looks good. So
okay,
you guys let
fine.
us know in the chat if how the audio is sounding. But yeah. So anyway, sorry about the snafu. Don't know what happened, but hopefully it won't happen again. I'm sure I just wore my computer out last weekend from all the live streaming, but
as you said, if you haven't had a problem, well, fixing something on the fly is the most difficult thing you can do in your live streaming, because you don't have a producer, you don't have an engineer, there's not some guy in the gallery who can press some buttons, there's no cameraman, there's no script writer, there's no one to audit what the hell you're doing. You have to do literally everything.
That is correct. Yeah. And somebody's asking where Frank is, and Frank's at work, and it probably all blew up because Frank is not here. So I'll have to tell Frank that later. Oh gosh. So how you been, man? How's it going over there in your neck of the woods?
Yes. Well, I've just realized actually, Jason, people might not, I mean, there might be the 1 in 10 people who just don't know who I am, and that's
go ahead.
You can't assume anything. So I'm Callum, and I own a little company called DX Command, and we make HF antennas, which has kind of caught the world by storm, I think is the right word to say. A lot of people got DX Command, a lot of people have got them in their armory for the future, a little wish list, things like that. And that's what I do. And then about 6-7 months ago, we had a bit of a shock, is that we basically had to leave our last little factory where I used to do a lot of my videoing from and some live streaming and stuff, because we had to shut down on the RF front. And part of the fun of my life is being able to like you, Jason, actually physically get on the radio and have some fun.
Right.
We couldn't do that. We had to stop. Long story. Anyway, I went live for the first time ever yesterday from Holly Farm. So that was great fun. 20 meters, 17, up to 10, actually.
Good. So how goes? So the last time you were on the channel, you were about halfway between your old shop and the new shop,
right.
the Holly Farm shop, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what you're
Holly
calling
Farm,
the new
yeah.
ones. Yeah. So so how goes? So you're completely moved now, I think.
We're completely moved. There's a couple of antennas still sticking up at the old building. I just need to get the ladders out and get them down. But all the stock's out. There's a room. Real old timers might remember that my son and I made a video called The Secret Room, and it was this complete crap hole of a room that had an air compressor and some diesel tanks and stuff, and I asked the farmer, could I clear it out and use it for stock, which we did. And we built this big scaffolding rack and everything. Anyway, we dismantled all the scaffolding rack, and we used that to build all the tables in the new shack. But then we were clearing the final stage out, literally the last day, that we realised that with that much CRAP knocking around, we didn't know where to put it all, so we shoved it all in what I call the secret room. It is full of old desks and chairs and stuff that I just don't want. Now, I've said to the farmer, I did him a favour the other day, and he went, don't worry about all the crap in the secret room, Will. Well, he calls it the compressor room. Doesn't actually call it the secret room.
The secret room.
And we called it the secret room because we had about $20,000 worth of stock in there, and I didn't want somebody knew where it was and breaking in. So we called it the secret room, so nobody quite knew where it was on the farm, because it's all on YouTube, you know.
Yeah, right. Right.
But things are going fine. We've completely moved in. There's 3 big things left to do. I've got boxes and boxes of sound acoustic treatment to put on the walls, like I've got here. You can possibly just see behind me, can't you? But many, many more, because the ceiling's a bit tall and it's quite echoey. There's that to do. Then I've got some steel scaffold poles that I want to put in a grid around the ceiling to hang like speakers and lights, just to make it slightly theatrical. And I can run a sort of a little circuit around with switches to put lights on and off, particularly if I'm recording, you know, things like that. And then Wendy and I are on holiday, and we've got about a 50 metre, which is about 160 feet, trench that the landlord's going to dig and put a 4-inch, 100 millimetre piping, you know, with a pull line, so we can get a load of coax to the field. So that should be in. At the moment, I've got literally one. It's called AirCell 7. It's about as good as RG213, but in just over 1/4 inch. I've just got that dragged across the road. It's a very little used road. Maybe twice a day, car might go down. And that goes to the field, and that's running the DX Commander Rapide at the moment. That's it. So once I've got that done, maybe get some aircon in. Jeff, a friend of mine, has got these air conditioning units, and he's going to put them in it. But we've had it's gone really hot here in the UK, Jason. You're pouring with rain. We were pouring with rain last week. It's all dried up now. The sun's blazing out, so we'll see how hot, if you like, the shack actually gets. There's not much ventilation, a bit like this room, to be honest. Anyway, so there's the 3 things. As well, okay. You know, Jason, when you bring me on my show, you sit there and you go, oh, God, is he going to have his bloody shut up? But I woke up this morning wanting to do some development. I thought, we've had, like the USA, you've had your Memorial holiday Monday, is it? So you had the Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We also had a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Our Monday's called a bank holiday weekend. I don't know, it's anything to do with banks. But anyway, so same thing, just a holiday, you know. We get half a dozen a year where everybody gets told, don't turn up on Monday, you know.
Right.
So, of course, I had 3 days of email to do. And what I want to do is get out to the field and linear load my little 7-metre Rapide into a 40-metre package. Yeah, really looking forward to that. But it got to about lunchtime, and I realised I still hadn't done that. I was dealing with SHIT, and then FedEx told me that most of my parcels had a £40, about a $50 surcharge. So I had to fight my way out of that one. Won it, only to discover that my new 12-metre telescopic pole, which is actually about 12.4 metres, about 42 feet, probably doesn't qualify by that much.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
And now they're going to charge me $50 a pole extra because it's that much too big. I'll get around it because I'll cheat. I'll just tell them it's shorter. And so that's to deal with. And then DX Commander comes with a couple of aluminium plates, and that we were running out of classics about 6 weeks ago. And I thought, I'll order some more. And then a very special aluminium that I like to use, which was in short supply. And the factory it's called fibre coating. So it comes with like a peel off, but they peel it off, then put it in the laser cutter. So it actually comes out a little bit shitty. I think that's probably a Britishism, but anyway.
No, people say that here too.
Right. After it's been through the laser printer, it comes out. It looks like it's been in a blooming fire sometimes. But this particular batch, I had 200 plates turn up. This particular batch was absolutely rubbish. So I've been trying to find, just north of Birmingham, we've got a kind of an area of the country. They call it the Black Country. That's where a lot of engineering companies are. And I've been trying to find someone with a huge tumbler that they put like pebbles and sand and water in and stuff. And then you pour all your aluminium bits in, and it just churns it up and gives a nice finish and deburrs it all and everything.
Right. Like a bead blast or something.
Sort of, but it just turns it around in a barrel. It comes out apparently like a bead blast finish, but it's cheaper to do, and because I've got that many components.
Sure.
We will see. So it got to nearly 3:30. I hadn't done any development. I'd just done my firefighting. But as they say, Jason, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it.
That's true. Yeah, very true.
I say this to the man who hams harder than anyone else.
Yeah, and who still can't start a live stream on time, apparently.
Oh, jeez. Can you imagine how freaked out I was on Saturday morning then?
Oh, man, yeah. Well, you know what? I found myself, I wasn't as nervous this year as I was last year. Now, last year I had live streamed some, but I wasn't live streaming on a regular well, not as regularly as what I do now.
Yeah.
But I was the very first session. We went all day Saturday and half a day Sunday last year in 2020, and I was the very first session on Saturday, so I kicked the whole thing off.
Right.
I'm sitting here in the shack like 20 minutes before countdown, and I'm like, I need a drink. It's 7 a.m. I need a drink because I'm getting all kind of fluttery and whatnot. Yeah. I was nervous, and I'm like, and it went off just fine. I mean, thank God that what just happened to me now on this stream didn't happen to me last weekend.
It's hard
because that would have sucked really bad. But but it's all good though. But this year I was a little bit less nervous. You and Ape and Tank kind of kicked it off for all of us, and I think it went off really well. I before the stream started, I told you I went back. I slept it. We had a 4-hour long happy hour on my channel Friday night. Usually those last 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, something like that. They start about 8 p.m. local time and go till 9:30 or 10 maybe. We went till midnight this
Your time. Oh, that would
my
have been.
time.
I was getting up.
Yeah. It's about the time you're getting up. And so we were going for 4 hours. And I look over and I'm like, we've been going for 4 hours. And
talking baloney.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And there were still like 265 people watching this. And I'm
amazing.
Like, okay. I got to get up and live stream the world, guys. I got to go. So I slept in past your stream, which was 6 a.m. my time.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was 6 a.m. my time.
Right.
So I got up and I caught the last 20 minutes of it. So I watched the entire thing this morning.
You must be nuts.
Yeah, a little bit. But I like to keep up with what's going on.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, dude, I didn't realize how big that Nebula pole was. Holy cow. I'm like, that thing is a monster.
Yeah, collapsed. Its head height.
How big around it was.
How big the diameter. I intentionally put that on the desk.
Yeah.
Just to show people that it's nearly the size of a saucer,
Right, exactly. I was like, you could almost tie that to a vehicle and use it as a mobile antenna. It's probably really sturdy.
Yeah, you need to be in Texas though with no trees.
yeah. But it was that was an interesting. I really like the way you come in the door and you ask Emily, he's like, "What are they watching?" She's like, "They're watching you." You're live.
We actually planned. We had a separate stream ready on Wendy's phone in case I was delayed.
Okay.
So, and I was delayed,
Yeah. It looked like it fell together really well. So I thought that was a good way to do it. But
yeah,
it's all good. So, but the one thing I can say at the end of the weekend,
yes,
and I've got a couple of emails since then. Actually, I haven't told anyone else this. Is that well, one of the guys, I got an email from a guy in Australia saying, I didn't like how it stopped in the middle of the day and then started again that evening, Australia time. I was like, okay, it stopped overnight here and probably like evening time for you, I assume. I think he was talking about between Saturday and Sunday, again, USA time.
Okay.
So next year, what I would like to do is get a little bit more participate. You guys did great. You and Chris from Radio Runner and Hayden from Ham Radio DX, you guys did awesome. I mean, all of y'all stuff was really, really good. Hayden and Chris did a down under origami special today where they were just ad-libbing back and forth. They were just rag chewing over YouTube, as it were.
Yes.
And it was a great episode. But in order, it would be really cool if we could get enough content next year so we could like, go all night long, which would be all day long for you guys.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
So
I could easily kick out like an early morning when California finally goes to bed.
Right.
That's about 8 in the morning, my end. Yeah. I could easily do like, if we couldn't find anybody else, I could always do like a 3-hour live stream on, 40 meters, catching the grey line.
Sure. Yeah.
Go to 20 and then introduce somebody. It'd be great if we get the next participant actually on the radio. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, that would be really great. So anyway, we got a whole year to plan that. So just keep that in the back of your head.
So when was the last one? Was it literally 12 months ago?
Yes. It was the same weekend of last year, which was what we call Memorial Day weekend in the States. It's
right.
It's a holiday to honor fallen heroes, fallen military for years past.
And just in case they're not catching up with this, they might have been living under a rock all weekend. This was the YouTube Hamfest.
Right.
So there was 44 presentations in total, I think.
Yes. There ended up being 45 because Josh did a special late Saturday night of Carlos and his parachute mobile. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, so long story short, this guy Carlos, he's a skydiving trainer by trade, but he'll go up and take not while he's training, but while he's just skydiving on his own, he'll go up and he'll take a radio with him and he'll jump out of an airplane with an in-fed half wave hanging behind him and he'll operate HF while skydiving.
Operate HF?
Yes, that's what he does.
Insane.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
On 20 meters or something.
Right, yeah, I think he's usually on 20 meters, yeah. So it was crazy. So, but that was a very last minute thing. I watched the last half of it. He tried to do it again Sunday night and ran into some issues. But I told him, I was like, okay, we got to get you on the schedule for next year so that everybody can see that, because that was great. But
so how many hours of content did the team produce then? Have you any? It must be 25, 26 hours or something, or more.
It was probably more than that, because we went for, let's see. We started, I'm just going to talk local time here. We started about 2:45 in the afternoon, which was your stream. And then we went till and then the happy hour was the last thing that day, and that went long. So we went to midnight. So that was about 9 hours there. And then I think Chris from New Zealand started an hour before you on Saturday.
That morning. Yeah.
Yes. The next morning. Yes.
So it would have been, I'd say, 11 o'clock my time, which is 5 your time.
5 a.m., yeah. So he started at 5 a.m., and I think we went until 8 p.m. that night. So that would have been like 14
hours.
14 hours. And then Sunday, we started at 7 a.m. local time.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
And went until about 9 p.m. So we went for about 13 13 and a
So
half,
it's
maybe
got to be
14 hours.
36 hours or something.
Something like that, yeah. It was
I
crazy.
mean, I wonder how much view time on YouTube that all totals. Thousands and thousands of hours.
Right. Yeah, I know it. Yeah. It's I was literally tired. I was like, I've been sitting down watching my computer monitor for 2.5 days solid, and I was tired. I was like, why am I tired? I didn't go run a marathon or anything. I've just been watching YouTube. But I was like, I told my wife, I was like, I need to get up and like
I need to get a life.
Yeah, I need to run a few blocks around the run a few laps around the block or something, man. I was
That's
like, man,
insane. I mean,
it was
I
crazy.
didn't watch. I had a load of stuff to do this weekend, and I'm amazed. Well, I mean, you were the key man, really, in all this. I know you had a hell of a lot of help and a lot of people wanting to chip in and stuff, but someone has to take the final arbitration. I think that was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I basically I said, here's the schedule. Steve KM9G, he put together this document, this Google document that was a schedule for us.
That's right.
And then we all kind of went in there and peppered in what we wanted. And then when it got down to which that part was easy. And when it got down to it, like a month out, we're like, okay, we've got a gap here and a gap here and a gap here, and can we move this one here and this one here? So
yeah,
we kind of got on a meeting about once a week for an entire month.
Okay, did you? Right.
And
that's a lot of effort, really.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know what? It's a lot of effort. It is, but those videos will live on YouTube forever.
Oh, I know.
So it was well worth it in my opinion, because I actually went back a month or so ago. I went back and watched a couple episodes from the YouTubers Hamfest of last year.
Did you now?
Yeah, just to kind of say, oh yeah, we did that. I forgot we did this. And
would you say the quality has gone up a little bit?
Yes.
Would you now?
I think so. I would think so. Yeah.
I wonder what the viewers think about that.
I don't know. What do you guys?
You'd ask them on the live chat. Do you think over the last 12 months, I'm after 1 or 2% every year. I don't think it's going to double. I mean, we already got first class presentations as it is. But I wonder if people like you and me and Josh and some of the other guys, the more experience we get, the better we get at it. Does that come across without being big-headed or anything? We've still got to be engaging normal people.
Sure. And we had a lot of. I was thanking everyone Sunday night on the very last closeout, and I said, all of you new folks out there, and I said, well, and I stopped myself, and I was like, okay, you guys aren't necessarily new, but you weren't part of the effort last year. So everyone who presented this year for the first time, I thought all of those guys did incredibly well. Like there was not a hiccup. Everyone was respectful of everyone else's time.
Okay.
So I just think from an overall quality of everyone working together in conjunction, I thought it looked very, very well put together myself. Of course, I'm a little bit biased, and I'll admit that. But I think from a standpoint of just all those channels working together, I thought the quality was.
I tell you what I've learned though on a live presentation, I was finishing on time, but I had like a 30-second delay. And then I've got my little thing out. What I realized afterwards, waiting for my stream to physically finish. So I should have finished 1 minute too, to then give it a little bit of quiet time for people to follow the links. I mean, that's just something for procedural for next year.
Yeah, and it worked out okay. That's what I've always said that. If I got you, if I'm watching you on this screen, I'm watching myself on this screen, and I start mine and I just play my intro, let my intro music play, so people will get the notification on YouTube. So it's going live.
Oh, that's when they get it. I didn't know.
Yeah. When you first go live, well, if it works properly, YouTube, you don't know, but yeah. So I just kind of let you close out, and when I saw your credits rolling, I'm just like, okay, now we can start here. Yeah. Got a little bit of lag time in there, but that I think it worked out just fine.
I wish I'd have stopped 1 minute earlier.
Yeah.
Just to,
That's all right. I mean, I think it was fine, but yeah. So Dan's saying quality has increased exponentially. I guess that means last year sucked. So a lot of people are saying, for a bunch of amateurs, you guys are very professional. Hey, there you go. That's great. For a bunch of amateurs, he put in quotes.
Yeah, very clever, actually. Yeah. That's James.
That's good. Yeah.
He's just down the road from here, actually.
Oh, okay.
I hit him
Good.
on 2 meters down again.
Good. But yeah, it was incredibly fun and exhausting at the same time. But I had a lot of fun. It was just a great event. So I had a good time with it. So what's your current status on product, Callum?
Yes,
Because
okay.
I know
So
you had run out of classics or expeditions or
yeah,
one of the two. I don't remember.
yeah. So
And
there's
then,
the two main kits over the last couple of years anyway have been the classic, and we've got hundreds of them.
okay,
Have we?
okay.
And we've got 800 turning up shortly, but we've got like 130 in stock. That's not a problem. I'm quite. I mean, we might be out of stock for a week, but I don't think anybody would ever notice.
Okay.
We did run out about a month ago of what I call. So I'll just lean back on my chair. The classic, that's the 4-foot pole.
Right. Broken down.
Yeah. Telescope down, it's 4 foot long, 1.2 meters. And then, if you remember, it was about 3 years ago, Rowley couldn't take it onto an aircraft. It looked too much like a gun or something. Mm-hmm. So I contacted the factory and bought a couple of hundred of these expedition poles and had some new plates cut. And that was my second product. Mm-hmm. And that was just aimed for the person that needed roughly the same but in a smaller package. So I know I'm on a bit of a sales pitch here, but the only reason you need an expedition is if you're short on space when you're travelling from A to B. I still take a classic with me on holiday because I've got a bloody great car, you know.
Yeah.
So if you've got ARRL field day, HF field day coming up, and you're worried, I can't get hold of an expedition, well, just buy a classic. I know it's $20 more or something, but it's a heavier duty kit.
Yes.
You get more toys with it. In fact, you bought the last couple, Jason, but that's a different story.
Is it more bands?
You get more bands on the classic.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could have 80. Quite easily, you can do 80, 40. Well, you can do everything, really, with the classic.
Yeah.
Whereas you got to be a little bit clever with the expedition. Okay. But that's fine. I've got 450 coming in, so I don't want you to stop ordering them, folks.
Right.
I've got to sell 450 of these over the next year. So, because my lead time's now getting on for about 8 months. Just for the poles, you know.
Wow.
Actually, even for the nylon plates, which are made 120 miles, that's getting on for about 8 weeks lead time. The aluminium, 8 to 10 weeks lead time. Everything's got a lead time now since this pandemic. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And they quote me some ridiculous reasons. Oh, it's because something happened in Mexico or something. Oh, what the hell's that got to do with it? I mean, that was the latest with the plastic. Oh, there's a particular molecular thing that comes in a bag from Mexico, and we can't get it anymore. I don't know. I just don't know.
Strange.
But, so, and then probably next week I start development on the kind of signature DX Classic, which is in a 12-meter package, which I think you saw. I mean, the bottom of the 18-meter pole is like this size, and the bottom of the 12 is about this big, and the 10's about that size.
Is that the one you're calling the Nebula or the Nebula or whatever?
Well, the Nebula, which if you remember, Emily said in the quiz.
That was a good story.
Yeah. In case anybody hasn't heard it, we're doing a live quiz. I've got Emily sitting here. I tell you what, Emily was with her friend, so it was a dual Zoom session.
Right, there's two of them.
The two girls, Emily and her friend. And the question was something about what is a nebula, whatever. And she'd never seen the word nebula because she's not sciencey type. So she just said nebula, and it stuck. So we called the new one the Nebula, the 18-meter, the big one. And people still refer to it as that.
Okay.
Kind of going off it, but whatever, that's what it's called. So the next one, I don't know. We did another quiz, right, Jason? I don't know if you know this. Emily and I did a little science quiz. She was sitting here. And the question was, what is a beat frequency? And she said, oscillator.
I do remember that. Oscillator.
So I thought we'd call the 12-meter the oscillator.
The
right?
Oscillator. There you go. That's good.
Whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, okay? So I don't want to say it's confusing, like I don't mean anything derogatory.
No, no, don't.
I go to your website and I'm looking through your products, and you've got like a 4-square or a 3-pole something or a dual pole something, but those are just the classics set up in multiple classics set up in different configurations. So as far as your base products, you've got the classic, the Expedition, the Nebula, and is this new one going to be your 4th one?
So the new one is the Rapide. So take a 7-meter pole, with hexagonal plates, and not circular plates or triangular plates, and put 6 elements on a 7-meter pole, and that does 30, 20, 17, 15, 10, 12, or CB, 6, 4. Some countries have got 4 and 2.
Wow, 2 to 30.
Now,
you said
it will do 40, which is the development I want to do this week, but it ruins the concept, right? If you really want 40, get yourself a classic. To be frank with you. Wherever Frank is. but some people want and need a lower visual footprint from the road or the street or whatever. And that's the reason why I've put a bit of effort into this 7-meter pole. It's nothing to do with the fact I've got nearly 1,000 of them I'm trying to sell. No, it really isn't. Because Rowley and Mike and Tom and a few guys say, what are you putting development into the 7-meter pole? Turn everybody into a classic. But, I mean, I've been using the 7-meter Rapide now for the last 2 weeks, and I really like it. And it's little, it's small, and it looks nice. Look it up. Oh, here we are. Somebody's... Rapide. Just do a Google search. DX Commander Rapide. And there's some lovely pictures of the... I ran the hexagonal plates through the polisher just for a couple of minutes. Just take the edges off and make it look pretty. It's what a lot of people do with my kits, apparently. They just put a bit of care into it. It's a kit, right? It's not finished. Right. It's a finished product. The only thing you really need to do is just cut the wire to size and string some paracord and bits and pieces.
Right. Yeah. Let me see if I
can... At the bottom of that, there's some lovely pictures there.
Right. Yeah, there we go. Oops, no. Okay,
I think
those are hexagonal plates instead of the triangular ones.
That's it.
The triangular on the classic.
Expedition.
Right?
Expedition's triangular because it was only ever going to be 3, but I added a little side one for 10.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's that one. Okay.
And we've sold 30 or 40 of these in the last 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, good.
Now you've just shown on the screen some little beads, that kids use for bracelets.
Oh yes, yeah. I didn't notice that at first. So that's obviously those are the wires, the bands on the
So you can. I don't supply them because they're like it's $4.99 for a pack of 100 numbers.
Yeah.
And so some people use label printers, some people use little coloured tape, red, orange, yellow, purple, whatever.
I think Mike put coloured tape on his, if I recall.
Yeah, I think Mike did. But I also saw a comment as he ran off to Amazon to try and find these as well.
Yeah. That's good.
That wasn't my idea. Somebody put those on a Nebula and sent me the picture of it, actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good idea.
But that is the cutest little HF antenna ever. 7 meters. What's that in real money? 23 feet, 24 feet?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's half the weight. So we're, I mean, no, we're not all strong, but, an older gentleman or a young lady, it's your first little HF antenna in the back garden.
Right.
It's not like, what the hell have you done now, Callum?
Yeah.
Which I used to have for years.
Yeah. Is it, when it's broken down, is it any smaller than the Expedition?
No, it's still 4 foot.
Okay.
So it's economical. It's economical.
Yeah.
23-ish feet. Somebody says, what's the cut-off date to order a kit and still get it before last weekend of June field day? I would say... And we are shipping almost next day or the day after on most kits. We still make them to order, but we're like really fast now, or my son is. and Loki. And in the main, we use FedEx Priority. So there are plenty of people, even as far away as California, that are literally getting them next day. It's ridiculous. One guy ordered on a Tuesday and he had it on a Thursday. Tuesday night, he had it on a Thursday. However,
that's
don't wait until the last minute.
Yeah, don't
get
wait
your
till the last
kit 2 days before field day. You still got to build it and test it and everything. Order it now.
Right.
And where are we? 1st of June.
Yeah.
Certainly order it next week for field day,
Right. Yeah, because it takes a while because the wire comes on a big spool. So
That's it. It's a lovely spool, yeah.
Yeah, you have to go through and measure the wire.
Yeah,
because it's customizable because you can measure the wire and choose which bands you want to put on your antenna. So I thought that was pretty good. So if you want to put 40 up on a classic, you can. But have you ever had anyone put 60 meters on the classic?
Yeah. So on the classic, out the box,
Mm-hmm.
well, there's 2 variants, and the only difference is you get an extra spool of wire with one of the variants. But the regular classic, the original one that I designed, was 40, 30, 20, 17, 15, 12, 10, and then you get a perfect tune on 6 and 2, just out the box. Okay. Then, if you take the 30-meter element off, you can run an 80 as the inverted L off it.
Ah, okay.
And for that kit, I just supply some extra wire so you can put a bit more radial down.
Okay.
To get the efficiency really up for 80 and 40. It's it's good. Which is what the 12-meter pole, the 80-meter element, will be a DX element. It will go straight up and all the way back down, you see, on the 12.
Okay.
That'll be purely DX. But for your 500-mile hops, inverted L works great. And we know that. We've tested it out several times. Well, hundreds of times. Well, go on eHam. There's plenty of people going, it works. So must work.
True. Yeah.
So that's right. On the Expedition, there was really ever only 3 elements. So you had to choose 40, you get 15 as well, remember. So you get 40, 20, and 10. Or 40, 20, and something else, and 10 off the side. So that was one of the reasons it was a great field day antenna. But you got to remember the sections, if you watch that video you watched the other day, the sections are a lot thinner. It's a lot more whippy. I don't want to say fragile, but it is. Everybody's got a breaking.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with thin fiberglass, by the way.
Right.
Because thick fiberglass will snap. You give it too much. Where thin fiberglass often has actually more give.
Right.
There's a trade-off in everything. Bridges fall down, don't they? They're made of steel.
True.
You guys are ruthless, says Noel.
Oh, they're teasing me because I haven't built my classic yet. So, because that's a big.
Mate, that's got to be 18 months, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, probably something like that.
I might fly out and bloody build it for you.
Hey, you know what? That was my plan from day one. How else am I going to get you out here, man? No, but Mike brought his. I think it was I can't remember if it was a classic or an Expedition.
He came to see you, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, so he moved to Texas. He was in Michigan, which is about a 10 or 12-hour drive between the 2 states. His job moved him to Texas.
Yeah.
In early this year. I think it was right after the first of the year. So for Winter Field Day, I invited him out to us. We go out to my some property I have about an hour north of here. And I said, why don't you come up with us? Because he doesn't know anybody in his... He's in Texas, but he's about 3 hours south of me. And he didn't really know anyone.
It's quite a way, actually, yeah.
Yeah. 3 hours by car, I should say. But I was like, why don't you just come up here and hang out with us? So he did. He took the weekend off of work, and he came out here, and he brought his DX Commander. And that was basically the only 40-meter antenna we had, because we had a hex beam up, which was beautiful on 20 and 15.
Yeah.
And 10 and 6 it worked, but the bands weren't up for that during that time.
Okay,
yeah. But he brought his DS Commander out, and after the sun kind of started to go down, we'd hop over on 40, and it was just a talking machine. But I can't remember. I think the one he brought was the Expedition.
It was. That's Mike's favorite.
Okay.
I don't know if he's ever had a classic. Actually, maybe I should just send him one.
I thought he had both actually, but I don't know. Man, I could be wrong. But anyway, so he brought the kid out, and he turns on the camera. He's like, "Okay, Jason, we're gonna watch you build this." And he says, build. I was deploying it. He'd already built
it.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, do this. So I did this. And we just kind of watched it. And so I got to put it together and kind of see what it looked like. I'm like,
okay.
Oh, okay. So that makes a little bit more sense. So
Yeah.
people are teasing me that I haven't built mine yet.
Okay.
But Mike did say something that I thought was intriguing. He set it up on a Friday, I think, or maybe it was Saturday morning. I don't remember right now, because Winter Field Day is like a 24-hour event.
It is.
And he set it up, I think he set it up Friday night, and he was just kind of doing some operating with it, not officially for the event, but just, just making sure everything was working good.
Mm.
And I think that next morning, I think it either blew over or it was tilted like the next, because we had some wind that weekend. And it didn't break anything, but he said something to me that I thought was strange. He's like, this is the first time I've ever set it up and left it. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, usually I just go out to a park, I set up, I work for a couple hours, I take it down and go home. I've never left it overnight before. I'm like, really? That's odd, but okay. I just thought it was an odd. I was like, You never put it up at home and left it for like a week?
Yeah.
No, I've never done that. Okay.
Yeah. Well. Normally mine's up for 2 weeks, because we have to go away for 2 weeks. Set it up on like day 2,
Yeah.
Because it's 3.5 hours in the car normally, and you're a bit done in. You go out to the pub and have a meal. The next day, after we take the dogs for a walk and had a coffee, I set my DX Commander up, and it stays up all week, to be honest. Yeah. Josh put his up, if you remember, live streamed it, and it telescoped down.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah. He didn't put the clips on it, or he didn't tell me something.
Yeah, just pull it out. Give it a good tension. It's nothing, we won't break it.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Gordon Farmer's Forge. Appreciate it.
He's always giving me 99p, young Gordon.
Yeah. But that's good. So
thank you, Gordon. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Radioactive, my expedition is a DX machine, great design. Thanks. November 1, Quebec, Delta, Quebec.
Yeah, a lot of positive comments about. Some of you in the chat have mentioned that you have a DX Commander, or maybe you just ordered one. Somebody said they just ordered one, I think.
Okay.
How many of you are planning to use it for Field Day this month? Which today's June 1st, so Field Day is the last weekend of this month. So if you're going to use a DX Commander for Field Day, type DXC in the chat if you're going to do that.
That's right, because you'll probably win it.
Yeah. It's very, very, very possible. So Kyle's in the chat. He says mine will be up for 2 days at Field Day, and then again for 4 days at the Missouri QSO party in August. Yeah. So that'll be fun. But I see him there. So let us know. Type DXC in DXC.
There's Lee.
If you're going to use your DX
it's funny because for years I did actually muck it. I mean, I tell people to do this, right? If you're worried about a vertical and you've got a backyard, in America.
Yeah.
With a tree somewhere, about 20 odd feet at least. Get yourself a tennis ball with a bit of cord and attach. Someone on the chat will do this. Convert 4.95 meters to feet. Right. Anyway, a little bit of wire. Throw it over the tree so it goes straight up, and then the tennis ball, whatever else, gets stuck in the tree a bit. So if you pull it down, but bring it down to the bottom, put a brick on it or something, and then attach the middle of the coax that goes straight up to your apple tree, whatever it is. And then the braid, just buy 100 meters of automotive, really cheap, nasty wire. I mean, it's about probably $8 to $9 you could get that. I mean, it's a bit crappy wire, but it's a good, all right, sort of test. Make some random length radials and scatter them on the ground. Connect your coax to it so that the radials go to the braid and the center of the coax goes up the tree, if you know what I mean. I mean, you might need a soldering iron or just twist it together. It's only for an afternoon.
Right.
And then get on 20 meters and compare it with whatever you've got. And I wish I'd done that years ago, because I read too much documentation and too much myth and legend that it won't work. It does.
It does work. Yeah.
But it's a good challenge to do. And take some pictures and make a video about it or something.
Right. Totally. So, Rapide. Oh, Bo's going to use a Rapide.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So, yeah.
So, Jason,
Cool.
do you sometimes regret doing too much YouTube and not enough hobby?
Or
is
think so.
YouTube part of your hobby now?
It kind of is. Because every time I want to go do ham radio somewhere, I'm like, well, where's my camera? I gotta have my camera. I gotta take my camera.
I can't possibly do ham radio. What a missed opportunity! I could be making a video.
Right, exactly.
That's what I think.
So when I was out on my 2-week-long trip, I took a 2-week-long road trip, and we went and set up parks on the air in a lot of different parks around the eastern United States.
Yeah.
And I recorded a lot of video, but there was 2 or 3 times I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit down and play radio for
your
this trip.
thing.
So yeah. So that's Sometimes I find that that's true, but at the same time, I find that there has been several times where I have tried something new because I wanted to make a video about it.
I've done that.
So it's kind of like, would I be doing this right now if I wasn't making a video?
Or would I just be sitting in my comfort zone?
Right.
And that could be as weird as SSTV or something. Something weird.
Yep. Yeah, something weird for sure.
Occasionally I bump into people on HF and they go, "Oh, DX Commander, are you live streaming right now?" I go, "No." "Oh." I'm just on my blooming radio.
That's good. That's really good. That TS990 you use, do you like that rig?
Yes, I do. I'm sure there's always a better radio, isn't there?
Yeah.
Everybody. I don't know if I've done this as well. I've bought a radio and go, "It's the best radio I've ever had," right? Mm-hmm. That's because you have to convince yourself it's the best radio you've ever had. You just spent over $1,000 on something.
Right.
But yeah, I think you got to own something 3 or 4 years, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I just don't get fed up with it. I think there's I know there's a lot of buttons on the front, but there's some things that I'm spinning the VFO here on my IC 9700, expensive radio, VHF, UHF radio, but that VFO is nothing like the TS990. There's just some. It's like a software-defined radio. There's some fantastic software-defined radios out there, aren't there? Flexis and everything else. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. For me, I like a big front panel with a lot of buttons. Right? Yeah. It just works for me.
Yeah.
And I love the 2 VFOs. And I have yet to work out a way how I can live stream left VFO to left channel and right VFO to right channel, because that's what I can hear. And if they've got a button I can press and sync the 2 VFOs up, and I can have a vertical on my left ear and a horizontal dipole or something on my right ear. And then it's a fascinating experiment to do. You can hear the drift sometimes as the signal rotates from vertical a little bit more to horizontal, and you get the drift in your ear. It's a tremendous aid, actually. It really is. Lovely. You ought to try it sometime. But you can only do that with a 2 VFO radio. Even an old FT 1000 MP, which I don't know how much they are these days, but
I had one of those for a while. I did not care for it. I was told that it was a competition grade, and it is. It's a competition grade radio, 200 watts. I had the 200 watt model.
Okay.
It's a nice radio.
You need the roofing filters, the in-rad roofing filters.
Yeah.
All the contest stations put the in-rads in.
Yeah. I can't remember if this one had that or not. I'm thinking that it did not, but I don't know. Just something about the controls on. I don't know. It just wasn't. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing against Yaesu at all, because I have the new FTDX10.
All right.
And love it.
Okay.
Love the FTDX10, but it doesn't. And it has dual VFOs, but I don't think you could turn both of them on at the same time because it only has one antenna input. So it doesn't make sense to have dual VFOs in a radio.
I've got to say that most new radios will perform within that much of each other. I'm pretty convinced of it.
I agree. Yep.
We get to the point where the noise floor on these things is better than the environment that we're working in.
Yeah. Yep. Very true. Very true. Awesome. All right, man. Hey, well, thank you very much. Sorry about the bump at the beginning there, but
that was fine.
Yeah.
You proved that you're the real McCoy.
Yeah, just reboot and start again.
Yeah.
But,
Django's come to say hello. I'll see if I can let you see him.
Oh, there he is.
He just walked away.
Oh, it just as soon as you zoom out, he's like, I don't want to be on camera.
So Wendy's just walked out of shot. We have the garage, whatever you want to call it, behind here, and Wendy's just gone to the drinks fridge.
Ah, okay.
Lovely.
Cool.
Let's not overdo our time, shall we, Jason?
Yeah, that sounds good.
It was lovely catching up with you. I mean,
You
sometimes
too.
I like to try and forget we're not live streaming. I'm just having a chat with Jason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because that way it's much more relaxed than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the chit chat I've seen on the live chat, a lot of the guys that spend time both on my channel and your channel. So I haven't said hello to a lot of you. Some new names for me there. So maybe you could do me a bit of a sales job here and ask some of these guys to go and have a look at DX Commander channel,
for
and
sure.
maybe give me a sub if I'm worth it.
Yeah, I had in the live stream that I'm going to delete that fouled up with the camera. I had links to both your website and your YouTube channel, both already pre-planned.
Oh, that was nice.
They're not in this one, but I'll go back and put them in as soon as we end because I got to go edit everything anyway.
Of course, you have. Yes.
Yeah, you guys definitely, if you're not a subscriber on Callum's channel, he does a lot of the
Go on.
The clip of the video that you did last Saturday for the Hamfest, where you're out there with the lawnmower and it's going fast with the music. So you said something about I got to go mow the lawn, and then you were back on the radio like 30 seconds later. I'm like, what's he doing?
Yeah, that was a drop-in piece. We dropped that in.
Right. Yeah. That was funny.
I invented this DX Commander challenge. I was fairly convinced I could do all the bands from 30 upwards, but I failed. In the time allocated allocated myself, you know.
Right. Yeah. Well, something to plan for next time. Something to try again. You know, keep trying until you got it.
Well, bless you, brother. Thank you very much for a lovely hour.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Yeah.
And everyone go out there. Be sure you subscribe to him and let me know what you think you're going to do for field day. If you're going to use a DX Commander, I'm really curious because Mike's going to bring his out. So we'll have one set up where we're at for sure. So.
All right. Well, I'll say cheerio and you can wrap up with your friends here, Jason. So all the best,
Callum.
guys.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that is Callum, the DX Commander. And definitely. I will definitely put the links to both his YouTube channel and his website where he's got his antennas listed for sale on in the YouTube description once I finish this up and get this wrapped up. But if you just go search DX Commander on YouTube, you're gonna find you're gonna find his channel, but you'll probably also find Mike's channel because Mike's done a lot of videos about his stuff. So definitely go out there tonight and check out the Ham Radio Clubhouse. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Izzo told me that Kat, Dixie DX, is going to be guest speaking on the stream tonight. If I got my dates correctly, that's correct. So go out there and talk with them. It's a really good discussion time anyway, regardless of who's there. So Frank and I were on there the weekend before the Hamfest. We were both on there talking about the upcoming YouTubers Hamfest. So that was a fun thing. And tomorrow I am going to have Mark N4BCD, I think is his call sign, N4BCD Mark. He's one of the head honchos of he might actually be the guy in charge of the Huntsville Hamfest. He is going to come on and chat with us tomorrow for my normally scheduled live lunchtime live stream. That's why we got with Callum today, because I already had plans. Mark and I've been on the calendar together for tomorrow for the last month. And Callum and I spoke last week, and he's like, hey, let's do something next week. I'm like, cool, yeah, let's do that. We'll just have to do it on a special time. So, but Mark's going to come on and talk to us about the Huntsville Hamfest, which is going to be an absolute huge show this year. If you're not planning to go, you might want to, but if you want to go, you might want to try to book tickets now, because I'm told, Kyle in the chat told me, that Airbnb, go check Airbnb around the Huntsville, Alabama area, and supposedly they've got a bunch of stuff open there. Even so, if the hotels are full or Montesano State Park is full, the Airbnb is still open. or at least they were the last time we looked at that. So check us out tomorrow, noontime. Hopefully my live stream works the first time tomorrow, and we're going to be talking to Mark about that. So 73 to all. Appreciate you guys, everyone joining today. Thank you for sticking with me through the technical difficulties up front that we had at the beginning, and we will see you on the live stream tomorrow.